The Canon EOS R6 is the best all-around camera we've tested for photography. It's a more affordable cousin to the flagship pro-grade Canon EOS R5, and it still has plenty to offer for hobbyists and pros alike. Built like a tank, this thing is sturdy and weather-sealed. It also has a nice large viewfinder and a vari-angle touchscreen to help you shoot from different angles. However, it doesn't have the highest megapixel count among its peers, but 20 megapixels is more than enough to capture stunning, high-quality photos, and the larger pixels gather more light, making this a fantastic option for low-light situations. Top it off with an excellent autofocus system and burst shooting it up to 12 frames per second, or 20 frames per second using the electronic shutter, and you've got a highly versatile camera that can do everything from high-contrast landscapes to indoor portraiture to wildlife action shots. If the Canon EOS R6 is out of your budget, the Sony Alpha 7 III is one of the best cameras for photographers for its price, especially now that the more video-capable Sony Alpha 7 IV has hit the market. If you're mostly into photography, the A7 III still has plenty to offer, including a still competitive autofocus system, 10 frames per second burst shooting, and one of the longest-lasting batteries you'll find on a mirrorless camera. You lose out on weather sealing, touch navigation, and Sony's new and improved menu system. However, these are small prices to pay for a camera that still holds up remarkably well to newer competition when it comes to image quality. If you're looking for slightly better build quality and ergonomics, stretching your budget a little will nab you the Nikon Z6 II, a worthy competitor if you can live with shorter battery life and fewer lens options. The Fujifilm X-T4 is another fantastic all-arounder in this price range, with style for days and a more portable body, but that size comes at the cost of image quality because of its smaller APS-C sensor. The best mid-range camera we've tested for photography is the Nikon Z50. Unlike most of our higher-end picks, this camera uses an APS-C sensor, which indirectly influences the camera's depth of field and low-light capability. Unless you're a pro or enthusiast, a crop sensor will still get you high-quality images, and you get the upside of generally cheaper lenses and more portability. It's also one of the most well-built and comfortable entry-level cameras we've tested. It has a large viewfinder that gives you a clear view of your subject and is one of the most intuitive user interfaces around. Battery life isn't amazing, however, so if you prefer a longer-lasting battery, the Sony Alpha 6400 has you covered. The Sony also has slightly better autofocus, but its ergonomics and user interface leave a lot to be desired. The Canon EOS M50 Mark II is our best all-around budget camera and a versatile starter camera for photography. It's lightweight and portable, with simple controls and a large fully articulated screen. It doesn't have the biggest viewfinder, but it is nice and sharp. The biggest downside of this camera is a more limited selection of lenses. We're also unlikely to see any new M-mount lenses, as Canon has shifted its focus to producing new RF mount cameras like the Canon EOS R10. However, you can easily adapt EF lenses for this camera if the native lenses don't suit your needs. If you want an even smaller kit, the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV is a tad pricier out of the gate but gets you smaller and cheaper micro 4/3 lenses with plenty of options to choose from. It also has in-body image stabilization to get clear handheld shots at slower shutter speeds. If you don't mind the smaller sensor, it's an excellent alternative for photographers on a budget. If you thought high-quality photography was reserved only for large interchangeable lens cameras, think again. The Fujifilm X100V proves that point-and-shoot still have something to offer in the age of smartphone photography. This premium compact camera has the same 26-megapixel APS-C sensor found on flagship models like the Fujifilm X-T4. Its design also harkens back to vintage rangefinder cameras, with a hybrid EVF/OVF offset from the center of the body. As if the sensor and viewfinder weren't enough, the package is tied together by an excellent 35mm equivalent prime lens, which is versatile enough for wider angle shots or close-ups and portraits. It isn't the smallest point-and-shoot, but it's compact enough for traveling or street photography. That said, if you do need something even smaller, the Sony RX107 is a great alternative. It even has a zoom lens if you prefer to have a bit more flexibility with framing. However, it uses a smaller 1-inch sensor, so image quality isn't as good as the Fuji. If you're after both portability and image quality, the Ricoh GR3 is a street photographer's dream and another worthy alternative, as long as you don't mind giving up a viewfinder, tilting screen, and 4K video capability.